¿Y qué pasó?
Hi everyone, it's Vicky of Cruising Princess Cruise Lines with Vicky, and today's topic is going to be about petty crime and how to protect yourself as a cruise traveler when you arrive in the ports. Petty crime happens all over the world. It's not unique to cruise travelers, it's not unique to certain destinations. It happens in pretty much everywhere, including my own hometown. And hopefully this video will teach you about some of the things you can do to protect yourself when you arrive in a port on a cruise. One of the first things you want to do before you even get on that cruise ship is do some research. Learn more information about the places you're going to be visiting. You might want to check out the U.S. State Department's advisory for that specific country on historically what the issues are about violence and crime in that place, so that you're aware if it's kind of a high risk area. Another thing I always recommend is not only checking that information, but getting the information about what you want to do in that port, so you're not just arriving and then wandering around and putting yourself at risk. So knowing the sites, the tours, and the places you want to see will help you once you arrive in port. One of the first things I do when I get a new passport is I take the passport and I scan the information page that has my picture and pertinent information. And then I save that file to my cloud. And so if you don't know anything about clouds, saving that, it's just an area that is some of your files are saved up there, and what happens is you can retrieve that information pretty much anywhere just by signing into your cloud. If you don't want to go that way, maybe you could email that file to somebody that you trust, or you could email that scanned document to your Hotmail or whichever email account you use, so that you could access it. So if you lost your passport or you lost a credit card, so it's another great thing is scanning or photocopying your credit cards both back and front, and then sending that file to your email account, so that if something should happen and you lose it, you can actually retrieve the information quite easily. You also want to contact your credit card companies that you use before you go away and advise them of which countries you're going to be visiting. This way they will keep track and notify you if there's some kind of irregular activity happening with your credit card. So if it happens to get stolen and they notice that it's being used in a country that you're not supposed to be at that moment, they will shut down the credit card and you're protected. You might also want to buy some items that can help you and protect you. Now, I'm not going to say that they're totally theft-proof. They're not. But they're a little bit theft-resistant, as I would say. One of the companies I love is PacSafe, and I did a video actually just on PacSafe items that I love and I use. But there are a few other companies out there, but I'm going to just show you the PacSafe ones I have right now. So, I carry with us all the time this little travel bag. So usually one of us has this and the other person has the knapsack. So this is a little PacSafe bag. Can't be slashed because of metal through it. The clips can't get undone because there's a double locking system. And the zippers they close and then they lock in place with a little clip. So again, it's just a little bit more of a deterrent. So usually pickpocketers who are really looking for crimes of opportunity, they're going to probably bypass you when they see things like this. Another item that we use on my camera strap, I make sure I have a cross strap, and also this has a wire mesh going through it so it can't be slashed. We also carry this little locking device. So if we're at a restaurant, say, and we're going to put something down, like one of our bags that isn't one of the theft-resistant bags, what we might do is we might actually, put this lock in and around something like the table and around the bag, so that it can't be stolen that easily. Again, it's not a guarantee, but it's probably, they're going to go somewhere else to someone that's a little bit easier to target. We also have a pack-sack knapsack bag, and again, it has those little extra clips. It can't be slashed. The zippers have extra locking mechanisms in them so that they can't get into that easily. Another thing we bought was these RIFD little pouches, and what happens is these pouches cannot have somebody come by and try and scan the information off of our cards. One thing we got recently was a money belt. Now this one happens to be, this is from Rick Steves, and it's a really nice comfy material. Now these items, I probably wouldn't carry this, this money belt with me going into port because I have the other items. But when we're traveling, say we're taking a taxi or the train to the port, I will carry money in here, as well as my husband carrying money and stuff in another spot. And it's just another, you know, another place that we can deter them from getting into our items or making them less visible. But again, you probably don't want to carry a money belt like that and have it bulging and you walk out. That again is another sign that you probably are a easy target. Our lecturers will give you some great information about the sites, what you can expect in the port. So knowing how to get to a specific beach or a specific monument will help you so that when you get off in the port, you'll know where you're going, how much it might cost, and how long it would probably take. All of this is just going to give you some more security when you're in port. So you're about to pull into port. Some of the things you can do to help prevent yourself from being an easy target is to want to lower your profile. What I mean by profile is, you know, don't go out screaming like you are obviously a tourist. Try not to wear loud Hawaiian shirts. I'd also recommend not going out with, you know, your huge flag on your shirt. Although it's great to be patriotic, this is just telling everybody that you're probably a wealthy North American and that you might be an easy target. The cruise line gives out great tote bags often, but I really wouldn't recommend bringing those ashore, especially if you're going to be like shopping or walking around. Again, this is telling every single person out there that you're a tourist. You really want to avoid wearing pretty much any kind of jewelry. When I go ashore into some places, I don't wear even my wedding rings or wedding band. I wear very inexpensive items if I am going to wear something. But even if you're wearing something that's inexpensive, it might look flashy and may look expensive. So beware of that. Don't even wear a gold chain or an expensive watch. Remember that some of these places that you're visiting, that gold chain may feed their family for a week. Many wives will probably thank me, but don't wear a fanny pack. From what I've read and heard, fanny packs are basically a gift to pickpocketers. They are very easy to get into, and if it's holding a lot, it's gone. It's like a huge gift to them. So don't wear fanny packs. Avoid bringing a large purse ashore. Chances are you probably don't need most of the stuff that's in there. But having a large purse is just, again, another sign that somebody would say, hey, that bag is loaded, I'm going to grab it and go. And if you're somewhere and you're having to dig through that large purse for something, again, you're distracted, that's an easy sign to somebody who's going to come and just grab that bag. I just travel with this small little bag when I go ashore. Really, what do I need in here? For us, we just carry one credit card, one debit card, and a small amount of cash, which we usually divide amongst each other, and then we usually even put into two different spots on our being as well. So if someone is going to pickpocket my back pocket, they're only going to get away with a little bit of money. If you're going to bring a knapsack, wear that knapsack in front. That way you know if someone's trying to get into it. If it's on your back, you may not even recognize that somebody's going into the knapsack and stealing your items. I remember a time when we were in Rio de Janeiro on the train during Carnival. It was packed, and I always wore it in front of me, and I knew it was a little bit safer. Something else you might want to do is to carry a dummy wallet. In that dummy wallet you could have a little bit of money. You might want to have an old credit card and business cards, just little stuff that you don't really have to worry too much if it gets stolen. And having that in probably still not the most easy to get place, but if you are pickpocketed or robbed and they take that, it's not such a big deal. So maybe carrying a little bit of money so that if you're having to pay for some things, you could use that wallet so if somebody comes and grabs it, they're taking that one. Remember, leave your passport in the safe. There's really no reason why you would need your passport ashore. Leaving it in the safe guarantees that if your purse is stolen, they now don't have your passport as well. Remember that if your passport does get stolen, you still have the information from that scanned or photocopied document that you've emailed to yourself. Also, many people tell me that they're worried that if they miss the ship, they won't have their passport. Normal procedure is that if you are missing the ship, what happens is security goes to your cabin, goes into your safe, takes out the passport, and leaves it with the port agent. So once you do get back to the port, you can talk with the port agent and they will have your passport for you. Carrying smartphones is just kind of the sign of the times now, but I will tell you that that's the most stolen item that people report. So if you are going to bring it, be cautious about flashing it around or having it just sitting on the table, because it's very easy and quick to grab, and it's very easy money for thieves. Excellent, you're in port now. Ship arrives, everybody's at the pier waiting for you to get off to sell them their stuff or take you on a tour. Remember, you're having thousands of people getting off that ship right at one time. So be aware of your surroundings when you get off. Make sure you're traveling at least 2 people or more. If you're going to travel by yourself, be extra vigilant on what's happening around you. Knowing where you're going as soon as you get off the ship is really key. If for some reason you get off and you're not too sure or you have to check a map, what we do is one of us we put our backs to the wall, and then the other person's sort of on lookout while I'm looking at the map or checking our documentations, just so that we're not a target. If I was at the end of the pier and we're both not paying attention and we're looking at a map, that just gives an opportunity for someone to come up behind us and possibly pickpocket. If you're on a ship's tour, that's great. Go and enjoy yourself. But one of the things that happens when you're on a ship's tour is they put this really lovely sticky right onto your shirt to identify you on a specific tour. That's really great when you're on the tour. However, once you're finished with that tour, remove that sticker. Again, that's just a clear sign to anybody that's around that you're on a cruise ship and you're an easy target. You also want to be careful about flashing your money around. I'll never forget the time that I ran into a man who was complaining about being in Montevideo and how he got robbed of his money. When his friend piped up and said, "Yeah, but you got out of the taxi and you had this wad of money and a money clip. It's a dead giveaway that you're going to get robbed." So be careful about the money you flash around. Again, carrying it in smaller amounts in different places will help that. And you want to be really cautious about going into areas that are very touristy and busy. Be extra vigilant on what's happening around you. So if you're going to a train station or a bus station, or you're visiting a very popular site, or you're traveling up and down a very busy route that many tourists go up and down, be extra aware, because I remember in Rome at the train station, as we waited for our train to arrive, we sat and had a coffee, and I could see the train ticket machines. And every time a tourist went up to one, there was somebody there to help them. The so-called gypsies, as I remember hearing about. Sure enough, they'd be there wanting to offer help as another person was right beside them looking for any easy opportunity to steal stuff. So be extra careful. Again, I always make sure that one of us is doing the action and the other person's paying attention around. If you're going to travel to places like the Colosseum, hanging out around, the outside of the gates there, again, thieves are there watching. They know the bus routes that are busy. They know where the tourists are going to be. They're going to be out there. Train station platforms, taxi lines, museums, churches are really key. Obviously, they don't seem to care that it's a church. You will find criminals at work. Be aware too, they have their schemes. I remember hearing about schemes where one person would pretend that they'd spilt something on you, or in fact did spill something on you. The other person, as you're distracted, is coming in to steal stuff. I remember hearing about a couple the last time we were in Europe who were approached by three guys, young guys, clean cut, asking for directions. And as they were helping them, they were being robbed. I remember a story of a friend of mine who went to a monument, a really touristy spot that even had tourist police. He had his money in his front pocket in his wallet, and as he reached up to take a picture, somebody reached in and stole his wallet. So anytime you're out there, be extra vigilant on your surroundings and what is happening. If you do have to take a taxi, there are usually taxis inside the port that are usually regulated. You may pay a little bit more. But if you do go outside of the port area and you flag down a taxi, make sure you confirm the rate before you get in. Also, if there's somebody already in the taxi and is saying, hey, let's share the price, and this isn't someone from the cruise ship, don't get in. In places like in Asia, you will find that people will lure you in, and then once you're in, take off and then rob you. Now, I don't want to scare you. And I can tell you that most people travel and they never have an incident. But being aware and knowing your surroundings and knowing that if it does happen, just don't let it ruin your holiday. If you are a victim of crime, make sure you report it and get the information from the officer so that you possibly could file an insurance claim. Educate other people around you that what happened so that they don't become a victim as well. The only reason I got pack-safe bags is because a friend of mine had her purse stolen in Venice. They slashed the strap and took off. She was getting on a cruise ship the next day without her passport. Thankfully, she was able to get to Rome and get a passport there from the Canadian Embassy. But her telling me about her incident just educated me about what I should do. I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you gained some information about cruise and being safe when you're in port. If you'd like more information about cruising, I have a Facebook page called Cruising Princess Cruise Lines with Vicky. You can also check out my blog where I blog live from all of my cruises, but I also have blog posts about many other different cruise related information. You can find that at vickyandbernietravel.blogspot.ca. And I want to thank you again. Happy cruising!